It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Ho Ho Oh, the Project Potter Holiday Special, guys. Welcome to night 13. We are reviewing 25 straight nights of Christmas movies, guys. And we are reviewing tonight Christmas with the Kranks, a 2004 film, guys. This definitely feels like an older movie. And if you haven't seen the channel before, my name is Kyle, your host. Thanks for checking out the channel. Go check out the other content, of course, guys, the other reviews in this series. And also, guys, what we're going to do is go through my favorite character, my favorite scenes, my least favorite character, score out of 10, and the ho-ho-oh rankings, guys. So let's get into it. This is not a good movie, and don't let a couple of likable characters in this movie fool you, okay? Tim Allen might be great. He might be charming. He might be a funny guy. Doesn't make up for just a horrific plot. A movie that honestly, it's like an hour and 40 minutes. And boy, did I feel the runtime in this one, guys. It's so weird because this movie has like a really cool premise at the beginning. The Cranks are like, hey, we're just gonna not do Christmas this year. Tim Allen is like, hey, do you know how much money we spent on Christmas alone? He's like, we spent like $6,000, and he sees a commercial or an ad for this like Caribbean cruise, and he's like, oh, this is gonna be great. He's like, it's $600. Don't worry. He's like, we saved so much money. We don't have to worry about Christmas. We don't have to spend all this money. And as someone who's like thinking about Christmas shopping and all of these different bills and all these things, guys, I'm like, skipping Christmas sounds a little nice. But although if we were skipping Christmas, I wouldn't be doing this series, so I get it. I'm not trying to be crank. That funny scene with Tim Allen where he comes out and he's like dancing and he's doing a thing, and his wife thinks they're gonna like start having sex in the kitchen, and he's like, "Nah, I'm actually just gonna bring out this boom box and be funny as hell." And then she's like unbuttoning. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Sit down, button up." There's this whole thing where they're like, "Hey, we're putting up our Frosty. Where's your Frosty?" And they're like, "We're not doing Christmas." And they're like, "What do you mean we're not doing Christmas?" There's a scene where the wife goes and he's like, "Oh, when are you gonna order your Christmas cards? You always get the best ones." And she's like, "Actually, we're not gonna be doing that this year." And he's like, "Well, what do you mean you're not doing it?" And she's like, "We're not really doing Christmas." And he's like, "Okay, what about your Christmas party invitation?" She's like, "We're not doing those either." And everyone's kind of like shaming them, and they're like, "How dare you?" And she's in the house and she's like, "They're looking for Frosty." And they're like, "We just want Frosty. Then we're gonna go out of your way, tell us where Frosty is, we'll get it." And Tim Allen doesn't have a tree and all that, but they're like, no, it doesn't matter. We're sticking to the guns. We're going on our cruise. Their daughter goes to the Peace Corps and she's away, so they don't have any reason to kind of be here. And they're just like, you know what, let's go on the cruise. And that's a really cool idea. And then they just say, actually, we're just going to stay home and make it a Christmas movie because their daughter, I think, does she get engaged? I don't know. She introduces the person, Enrique, as like her boyfriend. And it's like, it wasn't like this big thing where they've been dating or whatever. It's like, I think they just met. And she was like, how long was she gone? Like a day? And then she's like, I'm coming home and we want to get married. And they're like, oh my God. And instead of being like, hey, you shouldn't do that because you don't know this person, they're just like, oh, okay, you know what? We're not going to go on that cruise because our daughter's coming home and we need to throw her a Christmas party. They are like, we're not doing Christmas. We're not doing Christmas. And then they just do Christmas. And it's like, it's not really a good excuse. They should have just been like, hey, why don't you come home? This is what they should have said. Hey, why don't you come home after we go on the cruise because we've already paid for this and it's non-refundable. So let's do that. And then you stay in the Peace Corps and then you come home after. Maybe she had a specific time. I don't know, but we didn't spend enough time with the daughter. We didn't know the boyfriend. It was weird. And so I was like, dude, who knows if they're even going to be together soon? And so it was weird. It's supposed to be like this big celebration, but like the neighbors all hate them. And then at the end, they all just kind of like, oh, it's okay. And then like the nemesis of like the neighbor across the street, trying to build him up like he's like this really mean guy. And he's just like a nice old sweet man. And then he's just like, oh, here's the tickets. And they're like, actually, we can't really go because we have a cat and like her health isn't going to do it and they're older, and they're like, we don't really want these tickets. And he's like, actually, you do want these tickets. This movie is just a nightmare plot wise. Brings us to our favorite character for this one, and I gotta say it's Tim Allen because Tim Allen is charming and he's great, but wasn't a great character. And this movie's not a great plot, but Tim Allen, it's he's like a poor man's Tom Hanks. And it's funny because like obviously Woody and Buzz are a huge part of Toy Story, and Tim Allen and Tom Hanks are such a big part of that. But Tim Allen's a good time. He is a good time, but it's like, man, they're really like we're pushing for him to drive this movie, and he doesn't quite have the comedic chops. to carry a movie with a poor plot, and so I think he couldn't really make up for it. But he was the most likable of the characters. But even then, he like still was like, I don't know. It's like they were trying to be something more. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I hope I'm making sense, guys. But Tim Allen, I guess, gets my favorite character for this one. Okay, guys, my least favorite character for this one, I'm actually going to say it's the neighborhood because, they're like, hey, we're skipping Christmas and we're not going to do decorations. We're not going to do any of this. And then the neighborhood is like, what? You can't do that. And they're like, you have to participate. It's not about you, it's about everything. And it's like, now, dude, you just got to let them do what they're gonna do. Yeah, I didn't like that they were kind of like intruding on the cranks and saying like they were like peer pressuring them into doing it. And obviously, it's exaggerated and stretched out and trying to go for comedy, but it just didn't really hit for me. And I was kind of just like watching this as an adult. I was kind of like, dude, if they don't want to do Christmas, let them be. You know what I mean? Like Christmas is still going to go on for everyone else. Like you don't have to. This isn't like Halloween where you're going trick or treating. Like if they don't want to do Christmas, let them not do Christmas. It does make them bad people. So that was interesting and seeing them kind of like shame them. Wasn't a fan of that. Okay, guys, that brings us to the score for this one. Oof, this is a rough movie, dude. This is like a movie, like I said, guys, it was going to be a really cool movie. Then it just turned into a normal Christmas movie. And then it just dragged on. And then it just kept going. And it just wasn't creative or productive. And there wasn't like a star-studded cast outside of Tim Allen. It was like, there were a couple of funny scenes, but it was trying too hard. And this is a 5-3. This is not a good movie, guys. And I was really like, it's only an hour and 40 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, how is this movie still going? And there were scenes and things that like they were trying to push. And they're at the party, and Tim Allen has this look on his face like he's about to freak out or just tell everyone to get out or, be like, I didn't want to do this. But he never does that. And he just goes, same for me. But you can tell he's like upset, but then he never really like acts on that. And then he goes and gives the tickets across the street, even though they were very clearly like, even that scene was awkward. Where he's like, "This is a gift from me to you," and they're like, "No, no, no, this wouldn't work for us. We have a cat. Her health is bad. Like, this isn't going to work." And he's like, "No, no, 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 you have to take it. Like, we can't take it." And they're like, "We don't really want these tickets." And he's like, "Just go on the cruise, dude." It was just strange, but yeah, I thought the plot was boring. I like I said, guys, I was really excited for them to like maybe have like like a holiday Christmas on the cruise, or like they're getting ready for the cruise and then they get stuck and then they can't make the cruise and they have to come home, or but like any crazy antics would have been cool. Instead, they were like literally about to go to the cruise and they're like worried about the neighborhood shunning them and stuff, and then like they're about to go and she's like, actually, I'm coming back home and we have to celebrate now. And they just say, all right, I guess we're doing Christmas. That funny scene where he goes to get his neighbor's tree, but then that doesn't really come of anything. I don't know, man. It's just not a good movie. Okay, guys, so recapping the Ho Ho Oh rankings, guys. So far, we have number one, Spirited, a 10 out of 10. Still surprising to me, but I said what I said, guys, and go watch that review. Don't sleep on Spirited. It's a great movie. Number two, guys, Home Alone at 9.9. Number three, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer at a 9.8. Number four, Bad Santa at a 9.7. Number five, The Night Before at an 8.6. Number six, Just Friends at an 8.3. Number seven, How the Grinch Stole Christmas at an 8.2. Number eight, A Muppet Christmas Carol at a 7.4. Number nine, Klaus at a 7.1. Number 10, Polar Express at a 6.1. Number 11, Charlie Brown Christmas at a 5.7. And then this one, guys, is going to slide in below a Charlie Brown Christmas, which I didn't think was possible. But this is just a brutal movie, guys. So this one's going in number 12. And then the new number 13 will be A Christmas Story, which I was thinking about it and I was like, is this worse than A Christmas Story? And I'm like, it's not, because I liked Tim Allen and there's some scenes. I liked Marty, who ended up being Santa. He was really likable. There were some scenes that were really realistic and there was nice acting. But man, just the plot really brings this movie down. Like it really just kills this movie. And that's why I'm putting this one at number 12 out of 13, guys, because just oof, the 13th day of Christmas was not a good one. All right, guys, that's another episode of Ho Ho Oh. Thanks for checking out Project Potter. Thanks for checking out the channel and this holiday special we roll on, guys. We are now officially more than halfway there. Hopefully, we'll rebound with a better one tomorrow night, guys. So thanks for checking out the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.